Well, social media family, being of any persons among yourselves, from my subscribers to visitors alike, who are affiliated or associated with and are representing my own particular YouTube social media channel, and on likewise chat room or comment section or whatever I have to say. And be I speak correct, proper standard English grammar of the American dialect for our own adopted native tongue with all of its grammatical usages of qualities and quantities of a rather expansive or extensive, versatile, and or impressive vocabulary thanks to a one Mr. Daniel Webster or not. Yes, how are you all doing? Any of your persons or subscribers and visitors alike affiliated or associated with and or representing my own particular YouTube social media channel and likewise chat room and comment section. Although any subscribers will get more props than any visitors to it. And for some of such obvious and or evidential reasons and or purposes for my person having said so and or stated for the record. Yes, as it would go double, triple be said and or stated for record, and as well as it would go without saying, or would prove to have become or be a no-brainer, as in self-explanatory. But then for that matter, how are any of your loved ones, being any relatives or family members and or friends of your many different immediate personal households? Hopefully all is well that ends well, or in other words, hopefully it is all good in the hood, as they say also. But then I myself, I'm presently a tenant within that being of a less preferred vicinity area neighborhood community. If you know what I mean, read between the lines, fill in the blanks. Well, at least until I can get back to a much more familiar one. Or as in one that is less impoverished or less poverty stricken, and not to mention less crime ridden compared to where I'm at now. Whereas I would have to that much more sleep with something up under my bed to be made of use thereof as a matter of self-defense, not to mention keep a working cell phone, being of some kind or whatever make or model. Yeah. And although I, upon the God of my own understanding, being of our Lord and Savior Christ, to keep me safe that much more, regardless of any of my present public nuisances or problem neighbors of characters, being the likes of the proverbial neighbors from down hell, being not just the more, but the most obnoxious and most criminal-like in conduct to be considered of the rank and file of the usual suspects and our public enemy number ones. Yes, it's of my present proverbial neighbors from down hell, and within not just one of the much more one of the most poverty stricken and crime ridden vicinity area neighborhood communities. Then one of the most poverty stricken crime ridden city area neighborhood community, being one of the most poverty stricken, crime ridden neighborhood. Then one of the most poverty stricken, crime ridden vicinity area neighborhood communities. Prince of Peace continue to regulate my mind compared to our Prince of Darkness. Well, so I say, regardless of whether or not my person is speaking correct, proper standard English grammar being the American dialect, or as I was saying, and I'm stating for the record much earlier. So, permit me the liberty to reiterate or repeat myself and move right on. But then, how are your loved ones doing as well as yourselves? Yes, your loved ones or relatives or family members and friends of your many different households as well as yourselves. Anyway, though, the present social media broadcast, being as it is, video content material, is about, or as it is, involving, regarding, or making some reference to that being the commemorative, patriotic holiday in which we celebrate the survivors and their family and friends and loved ones otherwise. So far as concerning that being which had become a holiday in that same line of thought, innocence word, that was made official by our Congress of the House of Representatives and the Senate, or by our representative politicians who are supposed to represent us as their constituents for our own political American government bureaucracy. And as it is for that, being of which is for this time of year, being of which is commonly called and commonly known as 911, aka September 11th, when there was supposedly not that I'm meaning to, spread any conspiracy theories. There was supposed to have been, or allegedly, an assault upon the homeland, as we have it, for the Democratic Republic of Democracy of the USA, United States of America, though the conspiracy theorists would say otherwise. Or so I say, as a matter of figure of speech and for the sake of argument, and while trying to weigh the pros and cons of some such, there is to be two sides to a coin or story, for that matter. Not that I'm saying that I don't believe that there was, but then neither nor am I saying that I do believe. More so I say, as a matter of fact, speech and for the sake of argument, the same can possibly be said. I myself could possibly feel neutral when it comes to that the 1969 moon landing of American astronauts, or the Roswell incident in Arizona, so far as ETs, extraterrestrials, or UFOs and aliens. But nevertheless, this is a holiday that commemorates American patriotism, regardless of the resulting developments, so far as concerning 911 September 11. Now, I would have made this particular social media broadcast of video content material much earlier, but nevertheless, I was feeling quite up under the weather, and I myself still am. But nevertheless, here we have it now. So appreciate it, being of some such as I go about airing it from my own point of view, perspective, or narrative, as it is my prerogative as, believe it or not, an American patriot. You know, regardless of whether or not I myself, being a my person, could possibly literally actually believe that there was an assault upon our homeland representing our own particular American Democratic Republic or democracy. And not that I would mean to sound and seem like I'm contradicting myself and, you know, be misjudged as someone being some kind of a conspiracy theorist or a commie for that matter, as in communist, because I am an American patriot. I'm just saying, as a matter of figure speech and for the sake of argument, you know, when it comes to that, and trying to be, you know, no, not liberal or democratic about it, though I would exercise the, the democratic principle. I'm a Republican myself, and the Democrats, they are the political party, the Triple K, Ku Klux Klan, as it had originally had begun, compared to how the Republican Party was for that representing the abolitionists. Look with the history there before they had took to change the narrative to Dixiecrats, not that I'm writing the dog changing the subject. You know? And I try to weigh the pros and cons of a given argument at any given moment in time. As I was saying, I'll stay for record, there's supposed to be fast to a corn in a story. You know? And whereas this particular holiday celebrates the great sacrifices that our fellow Americans, citizens, had made, you know, in view of the circumstances of a major crisis that supposedly happened upon the mainland, as we have it, for our own democratic republic or democracy, and upon the North American continent, as we have it, you know, and that had happened within the continental USA, United States of America, for our own democratic republic or democracy, when supposedly some planes, not that I'm complimenting, you know, the false conspiracy theories, some planes or jets have flown into not only the Twin Towers in the city of the Big Apple, but likewise into the Pentagon, you know. And many lives were supposedly lost, and or as well, supposedly American citizens, our fellow American citizens had. I know I'm saying supposedly, not that I mean to sound like I don't believe it, but I have to weigh the pros and cons of both arguments of, you know, well, you know, of the two opposing parties, believers and doubters. That's why I put it that way. The word supposedly. And whereas we are celebrating the commemorative American patriotic holiday of 9/11, aka September 11th, unfortunately, during some such a time when some or such a crackpot or nutcase had unalived as celebrity TikTok influencer Mr. Ray William Johnson would say, the word unalive, a matter of saying that somebody has murdered or killed another individual person. That somebody being of a crackpot or nutcase had unalived our fellow American patriot friend, Mr. Charlie Kirk, for some such time as this thing. And whereas unfortunately, the fugitive criminal is still out there somewhere, whereas our boys in blue have yet to track him down and make this criminal pay the severe or serious consequences for his illegal criminal actions. As a matter of fact, I'm supposed to have a picture of him as it was broadcast in the news. They finally did get a picture of this this jerk for that of some of such a given moment in time. This one criminal suspect. Let me see if I can find that. I know I did a TikTok, a TikTok, a TikTok duet. The original picture or photo that they had, put out there in the news regarding making reference to this loser of an idiot and a sickle who had unalived our fellow American patriot, Mr. Charlie Kirk. Here's what the guy or fella is supposed to look like. And as I posted it, did do it for my own TikTok social media account, becoming a do it of another one. This is what this guy looks like. So if anybody knows of this guy, then please contact the local department, as we have it here, of our own American law enforcement agency or organization, see, for that being a which is that is to be possibly considered a line of thought. Right here, see where my finger is pointing, or the triple letter law enforcement organization. Here's the telephone number, 1-800 number. If you are familiar, I'm sorry. Prince, please continue regular on the line out of this document to what I had meant to say. Sorry about that. If you are familiar with what I meant to say with this character, then please make contact with your local law enforcement community, being this particular 3-letter law enforcement community. Okay? Because this guy or fella obviously, evidently has a severe mental disorder or a serious mental problem. So I made it do it for my own TikTok social media account. See, he's saying, and, right, with this other TikTok influencer for one's own TikTok social media channel. Yes. To the knees, I am sorry to inform you, you are fundamentally fucked. But people will forget as time goes by. What if I tell them that it was some other guy? I don't think you understand by far how completely super fucked you are. You are Hitler in the bunker fire. Yeah, for anybody who is familiar with Charlie Kirk, he was a, a political conservative and or Trump supporter. Again, I'm a Trump supporter myself.
In the Gospels, he saw something so.
Hold it. Okay.
Just coming.
Sorry.
The assassination.
Since
It's five. Okay, so five is a lot, right? I'm going to give you some credit. Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years? Counting or not counting gang violence? Great. Mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years. Counting or not counting gang violence?
So,
you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years? Counting or not counting gang violence? Over 100 people. Now, the Democrat people are unwanted. Was Charlie Kirk killed instantly? I'm a forensic scientist, former CSI. I got this question on a recent video, so let me explain. Now, obviously, he was transported from the scene and he was briefly listed as critical at the hospital. But functionally, I think he died pretty much immediately, and let me explain why. Now, this is a picture of him taken just before he was shot. In fact, you can see in this still that I grabbed from the video that his shirt is actually wrinkling because the bullet is traveling across chest. So it's literally the instant before he is shot. And you can see that his arms are down. But then just a moment later, after he's shot, both of his arms curl up and he's got both of his hands in fists. One, it's hard to tell because he's holding the microphone, but the other hand makes a fist and he holds both arms up to his chest and then he falls over. So it looks like he's decorticating, which is this posture that you see. This person is lying down. But when you decorticate, you kind of pull your hands up to your chest like a boxer and you make little fists and your wrists curl. When you decorticate, your arms are bent upwards, you have curled wrists, and your hands ball up. This is a reflex that happens when you have a very severe brain injury or brainstem injury. Coupling that.
Wow.
Did you notice that Charlie Kirk's bodyguard kept looking at his watch before Charlie Kirk's sudden death? There are 3 details suggesting that Charlie's death might not have been an accident. Firstly, Charlie's bodyguard stood at the farthest distance from him, and he checked his watch multiple times throughout the event. His movements...
So conspiracy theorists.
Charlie Kirk shot while speaking at Utah Valley University. Number 5, Charlie. Kirk was giving a pub speech at Utah Valley University when the incident.
Breaking news, we now have footage of the monster who took the life of Charlie Kirk. The people who took this video, I'm assuming, were on their way to Charlie's event when they stopped because they saw a man. Footage of the... Breaking news, we now have footage of the monster who took the life of Charlie Kirk. The people who took this video, I'm assuming, were on their way to Charlie's event when they stopped because they saw a man laying down on top of a campus rooftop. They said they saw him get on the roof from the other end and immediately run across and lay down in the position he is in now. That's a lot of people in Utah coming in. We're going to be here for a couple hours. Get comfortable. Bring the best lips that Utah has to offer.
You seem like a sweet person, but can you tell me what a woman is?
A woman? I mean, a woman is someone who identifies with femininity.
So just let's pause. That's not a definition. That's like saying a cup is a thing that looks like a cup.
Okay.
So you got to give me a definition, not just, you cannot use the term in your answer. Revenge of the Sith is the best Star Wars movie of all time.
Anyway, sorry about that, you all. Yeah, not that I was writing a dog, as in changing the subject, but the death of our friend, political conservative Mr. Charlie Kirk, had happened round about the time as we have to commemorate the 911 September 11 commemorated patriotic holiday. But then disregard or ignore any interruptions you could possibly hear in the background. No, not making reference to the the music coming from one of my own personal electronic devices, but any proverbial neighbors from down hell, dickhead pricks. Oh, sorry about that. Let me rephrase that. Any proverbial neighbors from damn hell, idiots and our sickles or crazies, like the one in the apartment above that of my own. And this character likes very much so to pump poisonous, toxic films, as well as to be considered a knockout gas into my apartment. You know, via the elect- electronic, the electricity outlet as well as ventilation system, whereas I'm trying to, you know, that is fumigate my atmosphere. That being the same of the said in question, another for mention, Chris Patterson. Practically not possibly by any means necessary. Where it's the only way one would get a new and as well next level sexual partner or another person who is not interested in one is to attempt to rape another person by any means necessary, and that's including attempting to render another individual person unconscious before one were to carry out the act and to complement possibly that of a home invasion. So much for that conversation. Getting back to some of such other though. So the 911 holiday is the commemorated American Patriot holiday, September 11th. That happened in the calendar year of 2001, and making reference to how some foreign nationals and terrorists had hit not only the Twin Towers in the city of the Big Apple, New York being one of the major sister cities to the Windy City, Chicago, Illinois, USA. They hit the Twin Towers there in planes or jets, and as well as the Pentagon, and brought down that mass structure of real estate premises, properties, and American citizens from there. Our fellow American citizens had proved how patriotic they were by assisting the first responders, uh, paramedics, medical emergency personnel, and police officers, and etc. Yes, for that is some such a given moment in time, and here it is, like 20 something years later, and another terrorist, be one foreign or domestic, and I showed you all his TikTok picture or photo, in which he still is a fugitive from the law, whereas the police have yet to capture him and make him pay for the severe, serious consequences of his actions, unaliving our friend Mr. Charlie Kirk during this September 11th commemorated American patriotic holiday. That's pretty much all I have to say for now. And I'm going to conclude by putting forth this line of thought of a note of interest. In conclusion, I say and I'll stay for the record, and that is, if you haven't gotten Christ as your personal Lord and Savior, I hope that you would think to do so now while the blood is still running warm in your veins, so that from there you could possibly become a citizen of the kingdom of heaven, and as well his blood sacrifice of salvation will permit you to escape the fires of down hell before it becomes too late for you to do so. For the longer you put off professing faith in him, the greater risk of you ending up in electrified downhill. You all take care and be safe. We out. Peace.